This story is going to be about how I beat a time demon in a 1v1 for my soul, okay? So basically, I used to trip a lot. I used to do tabs all the time. And I was super comfortable with it. The first time I ever did any, I did 7 tabs. And I was always super grounded. I was always the person that people would trip with because I like knew what was going on. I wouldn't get like overwhelmed or anything like that. So there was this one night I decided to drop 2 tabs by myself, which I had done before. I'd done more by myself, but I decided to drop 2 tabs. So I got my room set up. I put my phone in a safe area. I put it like on the edge of my bed. My bed was sitting sideways against the wall with my TV like that. So it's like a long area, okay? I put my controllers on the edge of the bed, far away from me, like 5 feet away. Same with my phone, so I couldn't like lose them, but I also couldn't like fuck with them because I get really bad with technology when I'm tripping. So I got juice, I got fruit. I put on an Adventure Time live stream on YouTube. I was good. I was chilling, right? I swear to God, this night something was trying to kill me, dude, because too many bad things happened at once. So I'm watching my Adventure Time live stream. Live streams don't change on YouTube, okay? They don't autoplay or anything like that. So while I'm watching, it suddenly just cuts to like death metal AMV music videos with like guts, like berserk demons and stuff, and like someone in the background just being like, "Your soul in hell," and shit. And I'm just sitting there like, excuse me? So I fucking jump up out of my bed. I'm like panicking. I'm looking for my remote. Suddenly it's not where I put it anymore. Okay? So I'm freaking out. I'm looking around. I still can't find it. It's just in the background, literally just screaming, fucking squealing death metal in my head. Then I look at the bed again. The remote is exactly where it was. I had just looked and it wasn't there. So I pick up the remote. I'm standing in front of the TV at this point. So I'm like this fucking close. I press the homepage on my PlayStation. It pulls up the media center. Netflix had an ad for either Sinister or The Conjuring or something. It was just an ad with a tree that like moved outwards and there was a person hanging on it, like swinging. And at this point, I'm having like visual hallucinations. So that tree is going like out at me. It's like, it looks like it's like cracking out of the TV about to fucking grab me and shit. So I'm like, and I like jump backwards and and then I go back to the Adventure Time live stream, or not Adventure Time, the like rock metal shit, because I didn't know what else to do. So I just pressed X and went back to YouTube. So once it brought up that music video again, I just scrolled down and clicked a random video. And it just so happened to be what I think is the Iron Man 3 trailer or just a scene. It was the scene where Don Cheadle walks in the courtroom and everybody looks back at the camera while he's walking. So while this happened, I'm just sitting there watching it. I sat back down on the bed, so I'm just like fucking laying in bed like Golden Freddy, just completely catatonic. And I'm watching the trailer. Everybody turns and looks at the camera. So they go like, and look back. When they do, it cuts like a minute before. It like restarts the video. So I was like, oh shit, I'm sitting on the remote again. So I look around for the remote and I can't find it, but the video cuts again while that's happening. And so I'm looking for the remote again and the video cuts. And after like the 3rd or 4th time, I realized, had to do a little scenery change. I realized that I was cutting with the video. So every time I would like sit up and be like, oh, I'm sitting on the remote, I'd move and then I would go like, and I'd just be back where I was. And I'd be like, oh, I'm sitting on the remote. And then I'd move and I'd be back where I was. And I didn't know what the fuck was going on, but it kept getting faster. So I was just like, what the fuck? And then I cut. And then I was like, whoa, what? And then I cut. And then I was like, what the and then I cut. And it kept getting faster and faster and faster. So I couldn't even like think about what was going on for real. So at a certain point, like imagine everything you're hearing right now. Imagine like if your air conditioner in your house or your fan or the blood rushing in your ears or you had a TV on. Imagine that was restarting every like nanosecond, dude. It started going so fast, I couldn't hear anything but just like shh, like the loudest white noise you could fathom is all I could hear. And during that, I'm pretty sure if you walked in my room and looked at me, I was just sitting there like seizing or something. But in my perception, like I said, it was just, everything was just cut, and just like, just constantly. And I was like moving in my perception. Like imagine you breathing and like that breath restarts. So you go like, and then it restarts and then it restarts. So I was just like, and I was just doing that like over and over and over. So I started to like suffocate kind of like, I was like, I'm going to die. I couldn't think. I'm saying like too much. My higher consciousness and my lower consciousness, I guess. My higher one was overwhelmed as fuck. So my lower one, the little voice, was just like, I'm going to die. I need to get out of this somehow. But during all of that confusion, all of that chaos, I felt 5 fingers. It felt like a hand with claws on it, reach into my head from this side. It just went, like it didn't feel like it cut into me or nothing. It just went through my head like it wasn't there. But then it felt like when you grab a blanket. So like this, how it bunches up. And then I felt my consciousness start to stretch like that out of my head. So in my perception, I'm sitting here tweaking out, just seizing, just and then I feel something grab me and it started to physically pull my head. I felt my soul, my consciousness, my id. I felt it getting pulled out of my body. Like I felt myself over here. And I was like, no, no, no. So I immediately started going like, and like yanking my head to the side. And it was genuinely a battle of will or something. It was pulling me this way, so my head was like cranking, but I was also yanking this way. So it was just like going back and forth. And I was moving so much that I made myself fall down in bed. So at a certain point, I just fell to the side. And when that happened, I was like, oh, I'm not in a loop. It's just like my perception that's in a loop. So I just yelled out and I was like, Siri, play music. And she was like, playing music. And then Blinding Lights by The Weeknd came on. And it was literally just dun, 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 and I was just listening to that beat and the tempo and like the timing between it all so I could stop the loop from happening because it was grounding me. And while that was happening, I slowly started to feel myself like stretch back into my own head. And then it just went like, whoosh, like a rubber band was let go. It just went back into my head and it all ended instantly. It all just went like, and like the time loop stopped. And I was just like, what the fuck, dude? I'm pretty sure during all of that, I was having asthma attacks or something. It felt like I had a stroke, a heart attack, a fucking seizure. It felt like all of that wrapped into one. I was just sitting in bed, breathing. So I was just like, because I was so confused. And to make matters worse, I picked up my phone and looked like my notification bar. One of my old friends was faking an unaliving attempt. So directly after all of that, I had to run out of my house and sprint all the way down the street to his house, beat on the door until his mom opened it, and then I had to sprint past her and run into his room while she's like, what's going on? What's going on? I run into his room and he's literally, again, like Golden Freddy, hanging off the bed like, drooling and shit. He wasn't at risk of dying. He just took enough to where he would be so out of it and like barred out that he couldn't fucking talk and shit. So me and his mom had to like sit there and help him and like fucking change his sheets and shit. And during all of that, she's asking me so many questions. She's like, what happened? What's going on? What's going on? And I'm just like, pupils are literally like, and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. Because I didn't. All he said to me was like, he sent me like a fucking broken text message like, I'm sorry. This will be the last time you hear from me. Shut the fuck up, bro. God. And I'm not saying shut the fuck up. It wasn't like, not to say it wasn't depression. Obviously, nigga had some shit wrong with him, but it was more for attention than anything else. But yeah, that happened. And then I had to run back home after that. Got home, and I was like, maybe I can salvage this, because I'm still tripping. Maybe I can salvage this. I get home, no joke, 3 minutes after I walk through the door, I hear the door unlock, my dad walks in. And this is one of those houses where, like, if you're in the kitchen and your parents are coming downstairs, you run and hide in the bathroom. It's that type of situation. So, he fucking walks in, and I'm, like, walking upstairs to go back to my room, and I hear him, and I'm just like, no, fuck. And yeah, it actually wasn't that bad after that. He just came up and like knocked on my door. I went in my room and closed my door. He came up and knocked on my door and was like, you doing okay? I don't even know why he asked me that. It's like he sensed that I was tripping or something. He didn't even know I did that shit, but it's like he sensed something was off. He started knocking and was like, you okay? You good in there? And I was just like, yeah. And I didn't open my door. And he was like, okay. Just wanted to see how you were doing. And he never does that shit. Ever. So of course he just had to do it right then. It literally felt like he was on the other side of the room with a shotgun. On the other side of the door with a shotgun. And I was just sitting there like, I'm fine. That shit was fucking horrible. But I feel like, kind of off tangent, I feel like if that was a real psychic entity, I feel like it was because of this. I astral projected once, and obviously it could have been a hallucination, I was tripping. But one time I was with my roommate, we were both tripping. I was sitting on the couch and I had accidentally hit the remote. I got a thing with remotes. I had hit the remote and like pressed the channel button, so it went to white noise, like a channel we didn't have. And it was just static, just like shh, but soft this time. So it was like calming white noise, kind of. I'm just sitting on the couch staring at it because we had smoke too, so I was gone. And I was just like, just staring at the TV. After a couple minutes, I realized I was like looking down at the TV, and I was like, what the fuck? So I looked around. I was about 6 feet in the air, like this close from the ceiling, and I could look down and see myself. I was sitting on the couch with my arm up, and I could just see the back of my head. And I was like, holy fuck. Whoa. I didn't think anything more of it than that. I was just like, whoa. And I looked over at my roommate, and she was on the floor because she got like the squirmies. So she was just laying out spread eagle. And she turned and looked at me, and she goes, hey TJ, you okay? And I don't remember going like down to my body or anything. I literally remember like a Severance scene or something, just being like, yeah, I'm good. And then I just didn't mention it after that because I was so fucking gone. I was just like, I'm good. And I just left it at that. That shit was insane. And I feel like my hypothesis is if you get super, super deep into it, like the first time I did tabs, I did 7. So if you go too far while you're not well versed in it, maybe you can be put on something's radar, some type of psychic demon or something. Maybe when you put your brain on that like higher level of functioning or whatever, it puts you in a different brain wave area. So your brain waves get sent to places that they don't usually get sent to. You know what I'm saying? That's my hypothesis. But I'm just a crackhead, okay?